Let's move it on to game 2 of the day. Another doozy, another real good one. The day games came to play. Jake, this Cron Pod burn is brought to you by, you want to slide it over so you don't get out of breath before you burn?
Trev's Rapsodo. Trevor.
Oh, dude.
Yeah. We're getting you in the lab, bro.
Rapsodo reached out to us. They said, we want to get involved. We said, absolutely. We want to find out what we're throwing up there. Rapsodo is trusted and used by all 30 MLB teams, over 350 MLB players, used by over 1,200 colleges. It's a data-driven sports technology and analysis that helps athletes and baseball players reach their full potential, showcasing player development through data-driven analytics. I mean, go watch any YouTube video or any bullpen session. They put the Rapsodo on the ground. Spring training's full of them, and that's the thing that gets you the velocity, the spin rate, the efficiency, the break, all the information you want to learn about your action. If you're a coach in a competitive league, these things can do you wonders. So go to Rapsodo.com/JohnBoy or click the link in the description for a special discount up to $1,000 off the Pitching 2.0 unit. Rapsodo.com/JohnBoy. Receive a special discount up to $1,000 off Rapsodo's Pitching 2.0 unit. We got some coaches. We got some college players. We got some high school kids. We got a lot of parents looking for Christmas presents, and you got a kid who wants to get better. That's a hell of a discount. Thanks, Rapsodo.
Back in my day, you were your own Rapsodo. Okay, we didn't.
I sucked at being a Rapsodo.
Yeah, I was bad at it.
This helps the pitcher so much. Go buy one if you're a pitcher. Jesus.
What's eating Logan Gilbert grape as the Seattle Mariners take on their division foes, the Houston Astros, as Justin Verlander tries to stay off his knees and not blow game 1. Top 1, this is a dumper. Cal Raleigh with the RBI single. And then Julio makes Houston his schoolyard. It is 3-0 after his 2 RBI double. Ty France, 4-0 France. 4-0 Seattle, but Yordan Alvarez shows the fortitude to make it 4-2 after his 2 RBI double. It is a JP Crawford podcast as he goes up top. Ty France again. Oh boy, Seattle. Yuli Uli. Oh no, watch this homer go. 6-3. But Trev's guy, Eugenio, he goes up top. It's 7-3. Seattle's going to steal one in. Breggy Smalls with the 2-run homer. Sure, he's our friend. We love him. 7-5. Bottom 9, here comes Robbie Ray, and he comes out to Cisco. Let me see your dong. And Alvarez takes him up top for the walk-off, the hardest ball ever hit. Check on that, Rapsodo. I didn't, but it felt like it. Houston walks it off. 8-7, Game 1 final.
Job well done, Jake. Job well done, Jake. This is a dumper. Well, E40.
Dong song.
E40, Turf Talk.
I could do Cal Raleigh.
Jake
burns
from the
for
Yay.
days.
I mean, that's a deep cut. You know that because I say that a lot. I don't think that was a
This is a dumper.
This is a dumper. It's a dumper. This is what the Phillies were able to not have happen. The same thing. Rust. The Astros didn't play for 5 days. The Mariners got their bats hot against the Jays. They come out swinging against Verlander, who they got to in the regular season once. I think he got to them twice. But you get to a guy once, it's a little less scary. They hit the ball hard in play. Verlander has a bad line. But Yordan is a big, bad dude. And you can't let him get up. Huge credit. I know Yordan gets all the love, and he deserves it, to the rookies in front of him getting on base to pass that baton. Because if you are the Astros, your late and close strategy is just get Yordan up. The Mariners had 2 rookies. Pena, who looked bad this game beforehand, who's swinging at everything, and then they pinch hit
Hensley.
Helsley.
Also
There's
not in my
of,
book.
There's a lot of names like that. Yeah. Got called up in September. He gets the pinch hit. He works the walk. Sewald was a little wild. It's more on Sewald there, but Pena's at bat was really good. And then I mean, the big talking point is bringing in Robbie Ray. We could do the whole recap just on this decision because it's one of the biggest ones. Oh, Jake.
Trev, you go. We watched this together.
I'm going to give the Mariners a little credit here because I know we're going to talk about how they blew it and Yordan this and Yordan that. He's hammering throws to home plate to throw out my guy, Ty France. Give your little French thing you do, Jake. There you go. Thank you very much. Look, they came out hot. And I think you have, if you're a Mariners fan, you have to look at the first part of the game and be happy with what you were doing. Now, yes, did it go awry for you at the end? Sure, but you kind of put yourself in a weird situation. I don't love the Robbie Ray move the more and more I think about it. But, you know, JP Crawford hitting a home run. Like you got to the Astros' best pitcher. And now whether that's a product of a layoff for them. But Verlander had been excellent on like extended rest, and this wasn't one of those cases. I thought they played pretty well. Just, I've said it, and we've all said it. The Astros lineup is relentless, and given the opportunity, they'll continue to score. So you have to do your best to put up a number. 7's usually a pretty good number to win a baseball game. But, I guess the Astros are just a little diffy. But again, if you're a Mariners fan, I think you can say, yeah, wow, that really sucked because we had that game. And if we win that one, we're looking real good. But you can take away some, you can be proud of how you played the first, 5 innings. Is that a take? I don't know. That's how I was feeling about it.
Yeah, no, I mean, I want the Mariners to win this series. I want them to feel good. Jake's talked about it. Little brother, just a bugaboo. They're like, their record in Houston is awful. And if they take game 1, I'm here saying like, hey, that's huge. Because I think winning this game in Houston, so huge. And they were a strike away from doing it. And the difference that makes, and now Houston has to come back to tie the series, which I still think would be likely. I don't know.
There's a lot of moving parts here. Mariners, 7-31 in Houston since 2019. You don't think some of those guys feel that? We're going to get into the next matchup, Luis Castillo and Framber. And yeah, I mean, just think about how those storylines can develop. Like, do you think Houston can't win a game at home with Framber Valdez against who is Seattle's scariest starting pitcher? So now that series went from like 1-0, we stole one on the road. We have the home field advantage now. We beat Verlander. To like, they could be very well staring down the barrel of down 0-2, just hoping to save your season. Couple things, like Jimmy mentioned,
save your soul.
Those at-bats by the kids to get on base. Hensley, the full count, fouls off a couple pitches. Sewald loses them, hits him with the pitch. And then Pena, yeah, I mean, that would have been a good opportunity. Jake was getting his Skip Bayless takes ready. Because who would that have been in past years? That would have been Correa. So now we see Pena, the rookie, in the big moment. Does Houston feel losing Carlos Correa? Nah. 0-2. Kid ends up slapping one up the middle. And then Yordan Alvarez, I know we say it all the time. He is the best young hitter in baseball. Julio all around. He plays defense and what he does. Tatis when he's right. Soto, blah, blah, blah. Yordan, go look at the OPS. Go look at what he does. We just get lost because this Houston kind of, dynasty or timeline started without him, that we don't think of him that way, but he is. And Robbie Ray coming in, you're right. For me, it felt like trying to light a spark on Robbie Ray. Robbie Ray's been struggling. You bring him into a situation where there's 2 outs. I mean, you could accidentally throw the wrong pitch, but if Yordan lines it to Ty France at first base, it's an out, and you say, hey, Robbie Ray kind of did his job. Instead, he goes fastball down the dick, and Yordan, I mean, I was worried about someone in the second deck being hurt by the baseball. So for him to be in that spot and do it, and yeah, I think, like we talked about with the Braves, that early game and getting back into it while you're facing wild card teams that have been already in the action and felt it, and you saw them get off to good starts. Now Houston survives that punch. I mean, those guys, you don't think they're feeling confident over there? Like, my goodness.
I mean, they got to the two best relievers in Seattle's bullpen, which I think is a big thing for them. Bregman taking Munoz up top, and then Sewell, man, he was throwing some very hittable pitches to Hensley. Hensley was taking some hacks. I know he ends up walking. He actually got hit by a pitch. Did they count that as a hit by a pitch? Okay,
Yeah.
They did. Because at first I just said you walked, but he was taking some hacks, and I think I said you got to be happy with how the first 5-6 innings went. If you're a Mariners fan, you're very concerned about how the last innings went. Obvious. The Ray decision was interesting to me. I hadn't been caught up on, the probables, I guess. I know Ray was set up to throw game 3, but I don't think they ever had that in mind after kind of what he's been doing. He's had some poor starts against Houston. Service said that, they knew this lane could present itself and that they were very comfortable going to Ray against Yordan. Now, it's a little interesting to me because they don't have a ton of history against each other, and Yordan is almost equally as good against left-handers as he is against right-handers. For me, it was the pitch selection. Like you said, Jake, I mean, we go to fastballs there. I had the exact same feeling. There's a cool video of Yordan's dad talking about how after that first pitch, he knew Yordan was locked in. I felt the same way. He gets a fastball that he missed, and I was like, dude, you missed it. I don't think you're going to get another one of those. Well, he did, and he ain't going to miss it again. I said I was live for that. I said, if you throw 94 miles an hour, you're throwing fastballs to Yordan Alvarez, and you throw it over the plate, you miss your spot, it's going to get hit hard. Now, it might not be 5,000 feet for a homer like it was last night, but it's going to get hit hard because that's what he does is barrel the ball up. Go look at his Baseball Savant page. It was the location. It was the pitch call. It was everything that I just did not like at all. And I'm sure I don't know if Robbie Ray sees the mound again this series. Is that a take?
It would have to go the distance and have some slop. Or not slop, but have to go to distance sometimes. If he does, I don't know what
length or something.
Break glass in case of emergency. Here's Robbie Ray.
Yeah.
And this is a Robbie Ray that had to completely change his pitch mix this season in Houston. Remember, I detailed it earlier in the year. He switched to a 2-seam fastball, sinker, because he felt like they had his pitches. He was tipping just a 2. And in Houston, Yordan now hammers an absolute 2-seamer, sinker. And he's given up a lot of hits on that now. And it's a pitch he started throwing this year. So,
man, the other thing, it's kind of been my whisper every time we talk about Seattle, kind of the final thing I say about Seattle every time we talk about them. That bullpen is so good. There's a lot of dudes that have had monster seasons out there to kind of ignore a couple of those guys to try to get the Robbie Ray lane. It's almost, putting what made your team successful this year and almost like not believing in your formula. These games get knifed up so easily. We're talking about the Matt Olson blooper that Nick Castellanos catches, not known for his defense, and it feels genius. Robbie Ray, if he had maybe thrown a good slider, or if Yordan, that first one he fouls off, if that's a foul pop-out, we're saying great call. But it's these playoffs, and now they just took one of your best punches, and, this Yordan Alvarez walk-off, 91% win probability added is the highest in any play in MLB.
Did you hear the stat that it's the first walk-off home run in postseason history by a team trailing by multiple runs? So every other walk-off run has been a tie game homer or down by one, and you hit a 3-run shot or 2-run shot.
Yeah.
That's incredible that it's never happened before.
It is incredible. And let's not forget, if Yordan doesn't throw Ty France out, that's only a game-tying homer. So I know they were trying to be aggressive on the base pass there because it was 2 outs, but I mean that ball, Yordan had that ball in his mitt before France even touched third base. So that was a questionable send there. I guess you're just trying to be aggressive, but
also the second walk-off homer in postseason history by a team down to its final out. That's also incredible, shocking to me. Kirk Gibson, the only other one.
Playoffs, baby. I mean,
I have a question.
Used to be less serious. What do you got, Trev?
If you're in the bullpen, you're talking about these guys who have been electric. and you've been one of those guys. Are you a little bit pissed that they went with Robbie Ray? Like, is Eric Swanson, he have a 517 OPS haver against left-handed batters? Is he a little pissed?
Piss might be the wrong word. I mean, he's got to have respect who Robbie Ray is. I mean, Robbie Ray won a Cy Young, and he
last year
was a good starter for them for most this season, and it's, one of the most feared lefties in the league. So you get some of the thought process, but you want the ball. I mean, you had a great season, and you're a competitor.
I think if it's last year's Robbie Ray, you totally understand it. But this year's Robbie Ray, you go, why am I here?
We're all fighting for the Iron Throne. Only one person can sit on it. And if I'm Swanson, I'm going back to my generals and saying, hey, man, we might have to have a coup here. I don't know.
Why am I here?
And I think the other thing, we mentioned it in Atlanta, Philly, how, their bullpens both eventually got hit. But for the Phillies, it was two guys. It was Brogdon early and it was Eflin late. For the Mariners to go to Munoz, Sewald, and then Ray, kind of the desperation move at the end, and all three of those get hit consecutively. Like the Phillies holding Atlanta in those middle innings, that solo homer by Yuli Gurriel, I know that was off Gilbert and earlier in the game, but to keep chipping away, I don't know. And the fact they got Munoz and Sewald, who are supposed to be their two toughest guys. I've always loved Diego Castillo. He has a clean inning, but I don't know. It's all this, a lot of Mariners doom and gloom. 99% of the time in baseball
That's
history,
what I'm saying,
99% of the time in baseball history, they've won this game. They did not. And you have Luis Castillo on the bump tomorrow. So I don't know, wipe it off, man, and take back home field advantage. See us rise.
Castillo being on the mound is huge.
He's
a guy that can just erase all of this quickly with one dominant start.
Baseball.
I'd still be sitting there like, damn, it'd really be nice if we had two, though. But win today. Win today.
Is it
tomorrow?
Is my take correct that you got to be looking and be like, hey, we almost had that one? Or is it like,
well, you have to look at the positive.
Opposite.
If you're the players,
like, holy shit, we should have won that game.
The fans will probably be thinking, holy shit. The players have to look at the positive. Like, hey, we got the Verlander. We got blah, 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 all that stuff.
What was that?
Seattle talk.
Now you got Framber's tiny glove going up against Luis Castillo and his beautiful hair.
That mound might melt with the two of them.
Kind of looks like a Valerian, if you will. You guys get that one?
Valerian Steel.
Yeah.
Dragons. See that dragon at the Yankee game?
I thought it looked fake.
It was a dragon. That one didn't look the same as the one in the show. That was a Dollar General dragon.
That's a low def dragon.
Why do they just? Maybe it's, I don't know. Whatever.